Good afternoon, Manchester. It's Friday, March 2nd, and welcome to this week's edition of The Pulse. I'm Kyle Smith.
And I'm Delaney Faulkner. Thank you so much for joining us. This week on The Pulse, we take a trip to one of Manchester's elementary schools to uncover the mechanics behind their science fair.
And later, we dive into the pool to find the reason behind our swim team's big success.
Finally, we sit down with three incredibly brave MHS students as they share their stories of self-discovery.
All this and much more coming up on The Pulse. In the past couple weeks, students throughout Manchester were given a unique opportunity.
Elementary schools across the district all hosted their own science fairs where students showcased their creative abilities through science and design.
Our very own Ethan Hughes made his way over to Martin Elementary School to reveal the talent and creativity of some of Manchester's youngest scientists.
For the past 7 years, Manchester Public Schools have done a great job producing an event that will continue to change kids' lives. PTA members got together and formulated an event that went above and beyond the kids' usual academic curriculum.
I would say they go above and beyond the standard curriculum, and the fact that the students are able to go through and do their own investigation, or create their own invention, or work on their own scientific model. Really, it's what the students own the entire project.
Through the cheers and laughter, some were able to talk about their experience.
I got to set up the things in 8-10 minutes. I liked to pull the cough drops out.
Some were even lucky enough to move forward with their inventions.
Some of our students have gone on to the invention convention at Hartford, University of Hartford, and also on to UConn and to the National STEMmy convention in Washington, D.C. They've had their projects filmed and presented there.
Our students really love the science fair. It's one of the things they look forward to all year. Even our students that don't create a project.
With the successful night coming to an end, students in each grade were given awards based on their projects. At the end of the day, the event ran very smoothly with over 100 family, teachers, and students attending the event.
Here at Martin Elementary School, students are given the chance to expand their mindset through creative projects. Every year, teachers and students look forward to this event and hope to continue this tradition of positively influencing the future. From The Pulse, this has been Ethan Hughes reporting.
The MPS Science Fair has been running for a few years now, but I never really noticed how much work really goes into it.
I know, it's really impressive. I've actually been to a couple of them, and I'm always interested to see what these students can drum up.
And speaking of drums, the Mary Cheney Library hosted an African drumming and dancing night last Saturday.
This event brought African culture to downtown Manchester, and Cam Berry was there to capture it all.
On February 18th, Mary Cheney Library was host to an African drumming and dancing kid-oriented event led by Jocelyn Pleasant. This event highlighted the ethnic and cultural traditions of West Africa. The songs and dances presented go back from generations and are still performed to this day. Band member Sani Tatro Kamra has been drumming since a little boy and is an active performer today.
These were like toys to me. Some people play, with race cars. I play with the djembe and the dunduns. So over time, it was just a love of mine.
This event taught the kids a lot about West African culture and their traditions. Head of the band and also a school teacher, Jocelyn Pleasant, feels these events are very meaningful to the community.
Well, I think it's good to recognize, like I said, the different cultures of Africa and how they connect to different things that are happening today. I mean, obviously, Black Panther coming out this weekend and Black History Month happening all month. So it's great for me to be able to get out and bring my group to be able to showcase and demonstrate, different music and different culture.
These events are usually held at such places like the library or even in front of thousands. Their performances are varied depending on the crowds but are suitable for all ages. These events are very fun to watch and a great learning experience for everyone. Today's event has not only given something for families to do, but also brought attention to the West African culture and the African community in town. From Manchester, this has been Cam Berry reporting.
This event was definitely a unique experience and really highlighted African culture within the Manchester community.
Well, when we come back, we'll highlight one of the many great teachers at MHS and the impact he has on his students. But first, an important announcement. Stay with us.
The junior class will be holding their annual Murder Mystery Fundraiser tonight, March 2nd at 5:30 p.m. in the cafeteria. Cost for students is $6, as well as a chance to win a free ticket to prom, $7 for senior citizens, and $8 for general admission. There will be amazing raffles going on during the show, so this is not one you're going to want to miss. Mrs. Mazzata, Mrs. Diaz, and Ms. Shakini and other staff members have been working hard to prepare for this fun and interesting night. So don't miss out on this year's Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. From The Pulse, this has been Andrew Suey reporting.
The winter sports season is coming to a close, and the few teams remaining are looking to finish strong.
One of these is the boys swim team, and they are one of the smallest and maybe most overlooked programs at MHS. Anthony Cavallo shows us how they are preparing for their most important meet of the season.
10 kids. That's the number of swimmers the boys swim team has had this year, but while the team has struggled to find enough members to compete with much larger programs, the lack of swimmers is made up for by the talent and the spirit of the 10.
Some of our team's strengths this season was our ability to work hard. Every single day in practice, every single kid on this team, no matter how many kids we had that day, whether it be like 6, 8, 9, 10, towards the end of the season, every single day, every single kid worked hard, and that really showed in our meets.
The team was led by captains David Mazzata and Colin Zoger, who had big goals despite the small team.
Going into the season, we were kind of unsure of how many people we would get and how many wins we would accomplish. So our goal was basically win maybe 1, 2 meets, just as many as possible.
And thanks to the hard work, MHS was able to achieve these goals. Multiple swimmers consistently post times that compete with some of the best in the state. Younger athletes like sophomore Owen Afspeck use this as motivation to improve.
The captains inspired me throughout the season. They always pushed us during practice, and they never told us we were going to lose. They always came to meets with high spirits, gave us good pep talks before the meets and our races.
And as the season comes to a close, the captains are proud of the way the team has come together.
We're all a little bit different. We all bring different personalities to the table, and over the season and in practice, we just bonded a lot more.
We were a team. We weren't 9 individual swimmers. We were one team, and I think that made the biggest difference.
Even though the regular season is over, swimmers are still working hard in this pool to get ready for state championships. From Manchester, this has been Anthony Cavallo reporting.
The boys swim team competed at CCC championships yesterday, placing 3rd overall. The team continues its postseason run at Double L State Championships next Saturday.
It's pretty impressive that they can have so much success with only 9 kids. I've been to a couple of their meets, and I can clearly tell that they're the smallest team out there.
Yeah, they definitely are small, but sure are fast.
Well, part of that reason that they're so good is because of the great coaching, and that can be said for all MHS teams.
MHS is not only home to many inspiring coaches, but also many brilliant teachers. However, few can say that they excel in both. Dalton Heiler brings us a story on what makes psychology teacher and wrestling coach Mr. Navara such an important part of the MHS community.
Wrestling is one of the most difficult and physically taxing sports offered here at MHS. Yet year in and year out, the wrestling team is among the most successful programs in the school. Much of this success is due to the dedication and motivation skills of Coach Jerry Navara, who makes it a priority to challenge each wrestler to give every ounce of effort they have.
They know that they have to work hard and practice hard, or they're going to go out in front of a gym full of people and get physically beaten up.
Coach Navara inspires wrestlers like Chris Collins to push themselves through tough situations by preaching that
pain is only temporary, but pride you have forever.
Mr. Navara is not just a typical motivational sports coach, though. He also teaches AP Psychology and Criminology, and puts in just as much effort to helping students as he does to develop wrestlers.
It's really nice to be able to go to not only my coach, but a teacher in the school, and be able to get help in not just a sport, but be able to get help in classes.
For students like Caitlin Labrie, Mr. Navara's interactive teaching approach ensures that there will never be a boring day of class.
He just makes the class really involved with all of his lessons and keeps everyone interested.
From teaching valuable lessons and helping his students develop in the classroom, to bringing out the best in his athletes here in the gym, Mr. Navara has an undeniable presence in the MHS community. From The Pulse, this has been Dalton Heiler reporting.
You know, I have Mr. Navara as a psychology teacher right now, and I really enjoy his class.
I know, I've never had him, but I really wish that I did. Mr. Navara has had such a big impact on so many people's lives, letting them know that it's okay to be themselves. He definitely improves the high school experience for all their students.
High school can be difficult for everyone, but discovering your identity, that's even harder. Luckily, 3 amazing MHS students tell their story and educate us on transgender awareness.
My name is Eva, and I go between using he, him, and they, them pronouns.
Go by she, her, and my name is Jamie Lopez.
My name's Paige Tyler. Any pronouns really do. He, him, and she, her are my go-tos.
I just think that being out is important because it's like being visible for other people and just kind of normalizing it, I guess, as a topic of conversation.
I think a lot of classes have already started to do that. So for example, like human rights has definitely done it. A couple of the history classes with teachers who are really updated on current events have definitely started to open up those conversations, but it's not necessarily like a part of the curriculum. So it's up to the teachers to kind of, you know, take that goal on themselves.
For me, talking to people isn't super easy, so I do go to like some support groups, and like I went to an LGBT camp over the summer, and those were really great.
It took me almost 2 years to actually to start therapy and to go through, just to make sure, you know, this was really what I wanted to do. And now that I know that it is, I finally start therapy. I have a meeting tonight about starting what type of hormone I want to do.
Trying to force yourself into categories that you're not sure about is damaging, and it's better to just kind of wait it out, try different things to see how you feel comfortable, and like you'll figure it out.
There's a lot of fear that if I came out, no one would ever really, you know, like love me in a romantic sense or like, you know, accept me for who I was. Like it would always be a matter of, you know, like, well, I love you because you have girl parts or whatever. And, you know, I have a partner who calls me my preferred pronouns, and, you know, when they talk about me, they call me their partner and not their girlfriend. And we have these conversations about, you know, like what it means to be transgender and, you know, like what things make me feel comfortable all the time, and that's more than I could ever ask for.
Honestly, just like really be yourself, because that's all you can do is be yourself. Once you figure out who you are, it's just that much easier. You can figure out on how to better yourself.
The administration has been unconditionally supportive in like using my pronouns and calling me by my preferred name.
I have a couple of trans friends that are out of this school, and I feel like I got very lucky because I have no problems whatsoever.
I remember I had a student in my American history class ask me, "Are you one of those transvestites or something?" And I didn't know how to respond to that, so I said yes.
You always want to be open-minded and just like think before you talk.
It makes you feel more connected to those people, and makes you feel valid in your own identity when you find people similar to you.
I feel like I've become more myself. I've definitely become more confident. It's just like opened up so much for me.
To be transgender means to go against that in any way, to feel differently than what you were assigned.
The Pulse would like to thank you for all of your bravery in showing us what it means to discover who you really are.
We might not realize it, but our community is very diverse, and we should always celebrate this diversity.
Well, that's all we have for you this week, Manchester. Be sure to tune in next week to learn about a new club at MHS and a recap of the winter sports season.
If you have any ideas for stories we might have missed, email Mr. Larson at b11elars@mpspride.org.
To learn more about The Pulse or to check out some of our other projects, visit our website at mhstelevision.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at MHS Red Prod. I'm Delaney Faulkner.
And I'm Kyle Smith. This has been The Pulse.